to episode 647 of Good Luck High Five.
You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are digging into some Final Fantasy draft or you're waiting to see how the standard environment shapes up, we're here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, we are getting you ready for the Pro Tour this weekend, including MagicCon Vegas.
That's right. The MagicCon experience is coming to Vegas, and there's more people than last time.
Yes.
And if you were in Vegas last time, your thought might be, huh?
There's
what?
more people than
or,
that
huh?
that exist on the planet Earth.
Exactly. Really
Turns
seems
out
strange.
Yes, this is going to be the biggest MagicCon of all time.
Wild.
So it's super exciting. I'm not sure how they're all going to fit in there.
Yeah.
But we're going to cram
I
on
mean, I
in.
assume the fire marshal knows.
The fire marshal has probably approved this.
He's on top of it.
One can imagine.
They're on top of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, look at me. I am the patriarchy in action. Woof! That was brutal for me.
Well, hey, you corrected yourself
I
right
did.
away.
You're right.
You know?
We're all learning. We're all growing.
Learn, fire marshal. That's the sign in my house. You know what's funny?
I really want to put a sign at my house now that says live, learn, fire marshal. But the thing is, it's not going to make sense to anybody. No one who walks in is going to be like, oh, yeah, I get the joke.
You know, okay. So if you've ever gone house shopping, lots of houses are staged.
Yes.
With furniture and whatever.
Yes.
And let me tell you the number of houses that have their rooms labeled inside them with wooden signs that are kitchen, bedroom, bathroom. I'm sorry if this is your design aesthetic and I'm making fun of it, but I am. And I'm just like, wow, oh my God, thank you. I didn't know there was the oven and the fridge and also this dishwasher, but I didn't know until that time told me kitchen. But also live, laugh, love is in all of them.
Yeah.
On the wall. And I'm just saying they could update it. What did I say? Live, learn, fire marshal?
Live, learn, fire marshal.
It would be a nice sign, I think. And I think if somebody wants to mock that up for
I
us,
agree.
let us know what it looks like. Put it in our Discord.
We would love it.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to have so many thousands of human beings in the Las Vegas Convention Center this weekend. We are two amongst them.
But two
amongst them.
But two.
We are but two. And we're going to be, our butts are going to be at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, they are. We're so excited.
Yes. I think we're in a separate area from the main convention. We're upstairs. So if you want to come and check it out, don't feel like you can't. You can. It's very cool to go up there and see. There's going to be 300-ish people playing Magic, drafting, playing Standard.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll see the news desk, the feature match area, and all of that. Come and check it out because it is truly a cool site.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if you see us, you can ask for a high five, a selfie, an autograph, whatever you want. You got it.
And if you're going to be at Vegas, make sure you stop by the Dragon Shield booth.
Yes, absolutely.
Shout out to our sponsor, Dragon Shield. They're going to be there. They always have a great booth.
It is. There's a cool chair that you can sit in.
It's always hopping.
Like a throne.
Yes. And they always have creators that they can get out there to come on. You can play games with them.
Yep.
We've seen Loading Ready Run playing over there. We've seen our friends Quest from the Jank Lord playing there. And if we're able to be out and about on the floor, we will definitely circle by yes,
for sure,
the Dragon Shield booth because we absolutely love them. And it's also a great place sometimes for us to be able to be like, that floor is so big.
It's a
How
lot.
can you find a single human being there? Well, you can look for a booth, and that's easier to find than one person.
That's a great point.
Yes.
By the way, if you go to Dragon Shield's website, you can search GLHF and get our sleeves there.
Yeah, you can.
Rainbow Feldegriff, Commander Arcade sleeves. Use code GLHF at checkout for anything you buy that's not those two pairs of sleeves. You get 5% off.
Yeah.
So just check them out. They're a great company and go and stop by and see them in Vegas. They're just very nice people as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be there. We're very, very excited. It's the magic party of the year, quite honestly.
And on today's episode, we're talking about what you can see at the Pro Tour.
Yes.
We're going to talk about drafting. And even if you're like, that's not for me, maybe it is for you, because we're going to talk about what's good in draft. We're going to talk about what could be happening in standard.
That's a whole new world.
And also, you never know what else we're going to be talking about.
I mean, we've talked about fire marshals. I bet you weren't expecting that.
That's true. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Courtyard Marriott shampoo in a little bit. And you might be like, you're lying, and I'm not.
No, I said Megan had to tell the story on the show because it was scintillating radio.
Yeah. But first, before we get to any of that,
Yes.
including the Courtyard Marriott shampoo,
Yeah.
we have people to thank. And first and foremost amongst them are you, the listeners, and especially the patrons of this show.
Thank you so much to everybody who supports us, has our back over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Become a member. $5 a month or more gets you a pun shout out on this show, access to our Discord, early episode releases, both of Good Luck High Five and Commander Arcade. If you're like, wow, I wish that show came out one day earlier, guess what?
It can for you
if you become a patron. And we have a new patron to thank this week.
Yes, thank you so much to new patron Crim.
Crim, wow. Thank you, Crim.
Wow, we're crimson because we're blushing.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I was going to say you're like the Crim Reaper because you've reaped all the love I have for you, and you now have it because it's been reaped from me to you.
What can I say? What else? And that's all.
Thank you. Get those great shout outs. Shout out like that. Wink. If you become a patron, patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Let's kick things off by telling you when to watch this show. If you're not going to be in Vegas, hey, tune on in. Twitch.tv.
I thought you meant this show.
This show?
I thought you meant our show.
Oh.
I was like, Maria, too late.
Too late. You're already watching
You're already watching it.
Or listening to it. Wait, I shouldn't even kick this off because you need to tell your Courtyard Marriott story.
That's true. Wow, we're starting with the Courtyard Marriott story, which I think is correct.
I think we just need to get out there.
So I was in Philadelphia for my uncle's wedding this past weekend. It was really lovely. It was very sweet. Yes. And I was I got there on Friday kind of early, and I walked around a ton with my family, got really sweaty, and then I was so exhausted.
History Channel.
Yes. So exhausted. And I was at night I was like, oh, I really need to shower, and I want to go to bed immediately. I don't want to like dry my hair or anything.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten my shampoo and conditioner, and I was like, whatever, I'll just use the shampoo and conditioner at this Courtyard Marriott.
Yeah.
Which is what their Courtyard Marriott brand. It doesn't say that, but it is just their shampoo brand.
Okay. Got it. I didn't know that.
I used it, and I like went to sleep with my hair still wet. Which I have pretty curly hair, and it's just like, that's just a mess. I knew I was setting myself up for a weekend of just keeping my hair in a claw clip or up in a ponytail.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of scenario that I was creating. That's the environment I was building for myself. But then I woke up with literally the best hair I've had in ages. It was incredible. All of it was like all silky. It was like perfectly curly and wavy in places.
The dream.
Was amazing. And I was like, what is happening? And I went online, and there are lots of people online who are like, what is up with the Courtyard Marriott shampoo?
That's hilarious.
Specifically, there are multiple people online who are like, yeah, I love the Courtyard Marriott brand shampoo. I literally buy it online.
Can you
can buy it online. First, though, because I am not someone to make a swift or hasty decision about purchasing something, I went to Walgreens and I bought 2 little travel-sized containers to fill with the Courtyard Marriott shampoo and conditioner to take home to see if I get the same results at home.
I'm so invested.
And if I do, let me tell you, I, too, am going to become one of those people who buys, of all things, the Courtyard Marriott shampoo. And let me tell you, I looked at it online, and it is so much cheaper than all of the fancy shampoo brands that are trying to sell you on how fancy and good they are.
The shampoo code with a cheap shampoo.
I'm going to be floored.
This is going to be huge news.
And I think that my first, what was great about it is, like I said, other people, I had corroboration from other people who were like, what just happened?
That's okay. Well, you have to keep us updated.
Yeah, I will let you all know
next week.
I will let you all know if the caliber of Courtyard Marriott shampoo continues to impress.
And then we'll get to the bottom of it. We're going to become an investigative podcast.
Yes.
Where we figure out what the ingredients are.
Yeah. I was wondering, I will say, okay, wow, we're going to continue. We're going to keep getting into this just a little bit. I will say that one thing that I noticed about the shampoo, using it, is that it's low sudsing, which means it has fewer sulfates in it, or maybe none. So that's potentially maybe they do make a decent shampoo. There's a chance that it is. Yeah. Because it wasn't super lathery.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Tune in next week for another edition of Shampoo. And it's spelled HOW ? Because we're like, who made this shampoo so good?
Wow. Well, great.
We're coming for you, This American Life. We're coming for you. But yes, if you're going to watch the Pro Tour this weekend, everybody, well,
Yes.
with great hair, sponsored by the Courtyard Marriott.
Yeah, thank you, Courtyard.
You can tune in on twitch.tv/magic. The action's going to get underway at 11 a.m. Pacific on Friday and Saturday and 10 a.m. Pacific on Sunday. So it's going to start an hour earlier. That's going to be the top 8. And the format for this Pro Tour, you might be asking, which we've already told you and you weren't listening, but I'll tell you again, is draft and standard.
Yes.
Final Fantasy Draft just came out, which I love when that happens at the PT because it means nobody has solved the format yet. We're kind of just like figuring it out. We're existing on vibes. And some.
I do truly love existing on vibes.
Yeah, we're just going for it.
It can be really exciting. I'm excited to see if people found anything new.
Me too. And then standard, of course, is enormous right now. And we have Final Fantasy into the mix.
And did people find anything new?
Do we have a breakout deck?
Is there a deck that someone is like, gotcha?
And I mean, it's happened relatively recently at a couple of Pro Tours, so it could happen again.
Always really exciting.
Let's start off with draft.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, the first thing I want to say about Final Fantasy Draft is it's awesome.
Yeah, it is great.
It's very good.
It's very fun.
Like relatively balanced across the color pairs.
Which is pretty nice.
Let's take a look at 17lands.com, which has a lot of this data for us. We're going to start by looking at the 2 color pairs, which are often what you're most likely to draft in this format. And the best performing 2 color pair, according to the data that we have today, when we were recording this show on Tuesday, June 17th, so these numbers will change slightly by the time that you hear this, no doubt, is It, which is blue-red, with a win rate of 58.1%. And the spread from there is not too terribly egregious. The lowest and worst performing deck is Gruul, which is red-green at 53.5%. But honestly, that's kind of an anomaly. The rest of the decks are all hovering around 57, 56, 55, which is a sign of a very healthy format.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Which is pretty great.
So Is the best. In second place is Azorius. That's blue-white at 57%. Followed up by, let me make sure I'm going to get this one exactly right because the points difference are very, very small. Boros red-white at 56.7 and Dimir blue-black at 56.6. So that's where we're at there. Celestia also doing very well at 56.3%.
Yeah, really good.
Excuse me. I was wrong. Golgari and Orzov are at 57.3 and 57.2 respectively.
I mean, how are you supposed to keep track of it? Because it's also
It's
tight.
all really good.
It's also tight. The only place you don't really want to be
is Gruul.
53.5, which even is not that
It's
bad.
not that bad, honestly. I mean,
Although that does make a lot of sense. I will say
historical.
I have not run into a lot of Gruul.
No, me either.
And I don't love it.
I mean, Gruul, I think its problem is what its problem always is, which is like, I'm going to just stomp
Whatever.
and burn. But like, the thing is, if you're going to be doing burny things, you probably want to be in blue-red or black-red and get your wizards so that you can ping people more.
Yeah. The big giant, the big uncommon giant lad is nice.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
It is 6 mana.
The hasty lad.
No, I was thinking of
Cyclops?
the 6/6 that it gets you. You go and you get a land and put it onto the battlefield, and it has a landfall trigger that another creature gets +2/+2 and trample until end of turn for landfall, which like is good, but also I don't know. It's 6 mana.
Right, exactly. So
there's like really that's like the high end spells, the expensive spells in this set are really good.
Yes.
And you can play them, but that means that a 6 mana 6/6 giant is like
is not as good as it needs to be.
It's not as good as it needs to be.
Because you're going to play something on 7, which is going to be backbreaking.
Exactly. You're going to play 7 mana 7/7.
You're going to pay 8 mana for what's his name? That like card that's black and like wins the game on the spot because it reanimates stuff from the graveyard.
Oh,
It's 5/5
Arden the Usurper?
Lifelinkers.
Maria, let me tell you, I did draft this card. Never saw it.
Oh, come on now.
Really heartbreaking.
This card is maybe the bombiest bomb that I've encountered in my recent life.
Because you have exactly the between when they play it and their combat steps.
Yes.
You cannot.
Yep.
Because it immediately reanimates something.
You don't have any time. There's no time for
It
you.
immediately reanimates something. It doesn't wait until your next turn, which would be the polite thing to do.
No, God, no. Absolutely not. That card's busted in half.
That card is absolutely absurd. That being said, that there are cards with a higher game in hand win rate
than that guy. Well, I mean, he is 8 mana, which is truly not necessarily an issue in this format.
No, but it is quite
sure
expensive. Enough. There is one of the special guests of Attracts the Grand Unifier.
Yeah,
That's cheating.
Yeah.
Taking out the special guest.
That's cheating.
I mean,
Sephiroth, right?
Yeah.
That's Sephiroth, yeah.
No, yeah. Who is it? Yeah, Sephiroth the
Yeah,
Savior.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's mean. There's a smuggler's copter, whatever.
Okay, yeah, special guest.
But we do have Nibelheim Aflame. This is 2 red for a mythic sorcery. Choose target creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, discard your hand and draw 4 cards. Flashback for 5 red.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dion, Bahamut's Dominant.
That's a 3/3 that makes a 2/2 knight when it comes in
Yeah.
and flips into some. You put counters and they all get flying.
Yes, that is
Yeah,
what happens.
That's nasty.
It says
So that's even better. Okay.
you get. It says you get flying. It
You,
says
you
put
personally.
It says you put counter.
per-
You get fly.
You get flying is better than the usurper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I would say the bombs in this set are really, really good.
Yeah, there are some very good cards.
Excellent cards,
Yeah.
which is relevant as something to say about the set. For number one, the fact that some of them cost a lot of mana, and say the activation flip cost
Oh,
costs
you
a
were
lot of
going to
mana.
say money.
Money, no. No, we're not talking about
I
a
know.
gold chocobo
No.
here. But two, the fact that this format also allows for you to play them even if you're not playing a strict 2-color deck.
Yes.
Because a 3, 4, or 5-color deck is also viable in this format.
Yeah.
Which is very, very fun.
Pretty great.
So let's kind of talk about 3 main archetypes, and then we can get into the best commons and that kind of stuff that we're
Yeah.
going to be looking for when we do a draft. So we mentioned Izzet as being the number 1 deck to draft in this format, and that's blue-red spells matter. So you're going to be playing a lot of cards and a lot of little spells, and you're going to be doing damage and small increments and eventually whittling your opponent down to nothing. A card I want to call out in this particular archetype is the card Sahagin, which is a little assuming 1/3, unassuming
This card
1/3.
is nice.
It costs 1 and a blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and it can't be blocked this turn. This card is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many spells. Part of what makes this great is that this archetype great.
Yes.
Is that you have stuff like Dreams of Laguna,
Yep.
which is an instant for 1 and a blue, surveil 1, then draw a card, but it has flashback for 3 and a blue.
Right, exactly.
Same with stuff like Ice Magic or Thunder Magic, which are the ones that have tiered.
Right.
So you can cast them early if you need to and you want to, but also you can cast them later and have them cost 4+ mana.
Right, exactly. And then you're going to trigger your Sahagin and get in there and just keep getting in there, and it keeps getting bigger.
Yep.
You also have some very sick on-color, multicolor rares or uncommon payoffs in this color combination.
I love the octopus.
Ultros, obnoxious octopus. I love this
He
card.
is obnoxious.
He's obnoxious and cute. 1 and a blue, 2/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Super annoying.
Yeah.
Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 8 mana was spent to cast it, you put 8 +1/+1 counters on Ultros.
Yeah.
And Ultros is from Final Fantasy VI and is very annoying in that game. You fight Ultros like a number of times, and you're
Is he obnoxious?
yes. You're like, Ultros, go just get out of here. And he's
Ultros.
like, ding, 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 ding. I'm an octopus. Boop, 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 boop. So he is also red on flavor.
Yeah.
For his name.
There are also the Emperor of Polymecia. This is a blue-red 2/2. You can tap it to add blue or red, spend this mana only to cast a non-creature spell. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1/+1 counter on the Emperor. Then if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, transform it. And it transforms into the Lord Master of Hell,
Great name.
which is a 3/3 that says whenever it attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard.
So these are just good cards with solid payoffs and lots of value in this because you're doing the things you want to do anyway, which is bounce your opponent's creatures, kill your opponent's creatures,
Yep.
and then it's rewarding you for doing that by giving you +1/+1 counters and letting you attack for more damage.
Pretty
So
nice.
it's a very, very fun archetype to draft and very successful, as we mentioned. Also, Lightning Bolt is in this set. I just want to point out.
It is.
As Throne
I have cast it.
of the Vestige.
I have cast it, and it feels good.
3 damage, 1 red mana, any target.
I also want to talk about white-blue artifacts because this one
good.
snuck up on me.
Oh, I love this one.
This sneaky little lad. But of course, we have commons like White Auracite.
I love this
I
card.
mean, this card is so good.
I love this card.
It's the 2 white artifact that when it enters, you exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls, and you can Also, tap it to add white. The fact that it taps for mana is just absurd.
I saw this and I was like, surely they can't just have put this on O-Ring. And then I'm like,
they're like, yeah. You know what if O-Ring make mana?
We did, and we don't care. And
here you go.
And it is just as good as I feared.
Let me tell you, I also love White Mage's staff.
Go on.
This is just a little guy. It's the one in a white equipment with job select. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks you gain 1 life and is a cleric in addition to its other types. It's a good 2-drop. It's a really,
it makes you a 2/2,
like it. It makes you a 2/2 and it gain you life. Yeah.
It's not the case that all of these job selects make 2 toughness, by the way, is what I wanted to say. Most of them are 1 toughness.
Yeah. But it makes you a little 2/2, which is great.
This cat, Gallicat?
Gallicat?
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
It could be either, because it could be a play on Alley Cat, or it could be a play on Gale. Gale, because like it's a flying
Galley cat. Oh, wow, you're right.
I don't know.
Anyways.
It's a 1/3 for 2 and a white. Flying and Vigilance, as long as you control 2 or more artifacts, a spoiler, you will. This creature gets +2/+0.
Yeah.
Would you like a 3/3 flyer for 3
I
mana?
would.
With Vigilance?
The Vigilance is what gets you.
It's so
when
good.
I play against this and they just like attack in with it,
and
I'm like, you don't even have to care about if you should keep it back.
No.
You don't even, I can't even race. Like, racing you doesn't matter to make you stop attacking with him.
Yes. It's an excellent card, and I'm seeing this cat go around the table far too late, everybody. So
take the cat.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay? If you need cheap artifacts, you can play cards like Magitech Infantry, which on its face doesn't look great, but when you're playing cards like Gallicat, whatever, it becomes excellent. 1/1 for a white mana. This creature gets +1/+0 as long as you control another artifact. Spoiler, you will. 2 and a white, you get to go find another one.
Yeah. Which is pretty nice.
Tapped. Yeah.
Pretty nice, actually. Then, of course, we have some blue ones like Dragoon's Wyvern.
Oh, this card's so good.
He's so cute. He's a little 2/1 flyer for 2 and a blue. When it enters, you create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token.
Yeah, and did we talk about this card on the show last week? Or did I just talk about it in my own head to myself?
I don't remember. I think you might have talked about it in your head to yourself because I don't recall you saying anything about it.
What I wanted to know was, what is the best iteration of the 3 mana,
2/1 flyer?
3 mana flyer that does another thing.
The Angel.
Yeah, the 2/1 draw card.
Gain a life.
Or this one that makes it creature, or there's other ones.
Well, you know me.
Yeah, you want the draw.
I want that draw.
Yeah.
Baby.
This is so good.
This one's pretty good, though. This one's pretty good.
Can hold your other weapons if somebody else drops them.
Yep.
Yeah. There's card draw as well.
Combat tutorial. Every time someone does this, I'm like, wow. Jealous.
Guess I just lose.
Guess I just lose. Every time someone casts combat tutorial, I am like, well, guess I just lose.
Target player draws 2 cards, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control.
Yeah.
Very, very solid.
Yep.
So those are the top 2 archetypes, but like we said, not by much.
Nope.
The third archetype we want to talk about is the most fun.
Towns.
It's a value engine.
To towns.
We're going to towns with this deck. Towns matter. 3 color, 4 color, 5 color even.
Yeah.
Town shenanigans.
Yes. There's lots of ways to get lands.
Oh, yeah.
Of all kinds. There's Town Greeter, which is the 1/1 for 1 and a green that when it enters, you mill 4 cards and may put a land from among them into your hand. If you put a town card into your hand this way, you gain 2 life.
Yeah, this card is great.
So good.
And if you're going to spread out your mana to 3+ colors, green is probably going to be one of your base colors, and Town Greeter is essential.
So good.
For making work.
So good.
You get access to a lot of excellent removal if you're going to touch black with this, which you probably are, like Sephiroth's Intervention or Vane's Treachery, which is the -2/2 or -6/6 card for 2 mana.
Love a Vane's Treachery.
Oh, so do
love a Sephiroth's Intervention. I drafted a deck the other day that had, I think, like 3 interventions and 2 treacheries.
And you're like, hold on, everyone, just sit down.
It's like, what's happening, you all?
Sephiroth really has something that they want to say to you.
Yes, exactly. So hard. He wants to say it so badly that he's going to stop by 3 times. Hey,
we talked about this.
Hey.
The way you play Magic has impacted me thusly.
Exactly. Please don't attack me.
Don't win the game.
Please don't attack me.
And because you're doing this with all of these different colors, you have access to the best cards in the game, including the best bombs, of which there are many. For example, Sin, Spira's Punishment.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to tell you a bad beats story.
Oh, you're right.
Which is where I had Sin, Spira's Punishment. I feel great.
Yeah,
obviously.
7/7.
I've brought back something great. I think like the 6/6. that has trample.
The
and
dino?
when it enters, like, you gain 3 life.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm feeling good. And then my opponent puts a little sleepy time on it, which makes me sad. And then they have the indecency to copy
audacity.
it.
Oh, with
The sketching.
realm sketching.
With realm sketching. They have the absolute.
Do they understand how rude that is? It's rude.
Friend, sir, fellow
Countryman.
magician. That is my 7
Fire
drop.
marshal.
That is, excuse me, Fire Marshal. That is my 7 drop. How dare you pay 4 mana for my 7 drop?
I didn't say you could paint me like one of your French girls. And Realm's just there like do 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 do.
Pay me like one of your French girls is going to be underneath my other sign. Live. What was the other part of the Fire Marshal one?
Live, learn, fire marshal. Paint me like one of your French girls.
Pay me.
Oh, pay me.
Pay me. I thought you said pay me. Pay me like one of your French girls. Pay 4 mana.
Give me enough time off to have a decent life and vacation plan. Pay me like one of your French girls. Give me free health care. Let me retire at an age that's acceptable.
Exactly.
Pay me like one of your French girls.
Pay me like one of your French girls.
Give me a croissant every morning. Pay me like one of your French girls.
That's what I'm saying. That's the tagline.
I can stand behind that
Look,
sentiment.
I know that Emily in Paris is behind us now, but hey, call me. I've got your new tagline. That show had a number of mistakes, which is why I could only watch several episodes.
The first being, are we supposed to pronounce like Emily in Paris? Is that how we're supposed to say it? Is it supposed
and there
to
is
be cute
no
like
indication
that?
of whichever.
We don't know.
No, everyone says Paris.
Yeah.
So if we were supposed to, they did a bad
Yeah,
job.
we don't know now.
2, it features pregnancy ruining someone's career.
Sad.
3, the tagline wasn't "Pay me like one of your French girls."
Oh my God. That's so good. Let's quickly go over the top 10 commons because these friends are what's going to be the meat and potatoes of your draft. This is what you need to look for. These are the signals that you're going to have to identify to draft a successful deck.
Guess what? We've already talked about some of them.
They're probably all on this list that we've talked about. Coming in and let's work backwards for the excitement factor. Which one's number 10? 1, 2, 3, 4,
that's true.
5,
I was
6,
just
7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
I always like looking at the. Okay. Wait.
Coming in at number 10, I have Ice Magic. This is the blue spell that we talked about before that has tiered, that bounces stuff back to their owner's hands, puts it on the top or bottom of their library, or shuffles it back into their library.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. I was looking at it on the grades just because I like to, but now I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah. Number 9, Dreams of Laguna. Mentioned it. Surveil 1, draw card.
Wow.
Flashback before.
Love me a draw one that's in the top 10 commons of a set.
Yeah,
that is
a good sign.
That is where I
sign.
want to be. Absolutely. Next up,
number 8.
We talked about him. He's the town greeter.
He'll greet.
Wow, I am the patriarchy in action.
I mean, this looks like a guy.
No, I do. In this art, it is a guy, and so I am forgiven.
Okay, yes. Coming in at number 7, Resentful Revelation.
Wow.
Another very
shocking.
good sign of a good format, I will say.
Absolutely. This is the sorcery, one of the few that we haven't named yet. One of the top 10 we haven't named yet. Sorcery, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Flashback 6 and a black.
Yeah, it's excellent. I love that card.
This next one.
Oh, yes.
I think there was also a draft where I had 3 to 4 copies of.
That's disgusting.
It was Cornered by Black Mages.
Number 6.
Let me tell you, when you make someone sacrifice a creature for the 3rd time, they're mad about it. They get big mad.
Yeah, I think so.
Cornered by Black Mages is 1 black for a sorcery. Target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. Create an 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell. This token deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Yeah.
I really can't express how much I love this card.
So good. Those little wizards, they will kill you.
That's what I love about this, because once again, it is a spell that means that I don't have to bother about a creature to win the game.
That's a great point.
It's a spell. Technically, it's creating a creature that win me the game, but that creature don't attack.
No, they're not attacking.
That's not what he
Not
do.
any day. Wow, patriarchy.
Wow, patriarchy. Is Good Luck High Five the most toxic podcast in Magic?
Wow, what a question. If we are, God help us all, let me tell you, that's all I have to say.
Do you know what? The world would be great if we were the most toxic podcast in Magic.
It would.
Can you imagine that this was the bar of the most toxicity? That would be freaking incredible. That would be really amazing.
I can only hope that we truly are.
I really hope
Quite
so.
honestly. What a hope.
You get out there and you tell other people they need to up their kindness.
Yes,
to the point where
kindness
we're the most
quotient.
toxic.
Coming in at
Anyways.
number 5, a red spell here for the first time on the list, Thunder Magic.
Thunder Magic, 1 red for an instant, but of course has tiered. Thunder, 0. Thunder Magic deals 2 damage to target creature. You can pay 3 Thundara. It deals 4 damage to target creature. Or Thundaga.
Thundaga.
5 in a red, in addition to the additional red. It deals 8 damage to target creature.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt at home. That's what we call that card. Combat Tutorial is coming in at number 4.
Beautiful.
We talked about
We
that
already
draw
talked about
spell.
it. So good.
Sephiroth will intervene.
Yes.
That's number 3.
White Auracite.
Number 2.
It's so good.
We love it. You know it. You love it.
You know it. You love it.
You detain it.
You're making an interesting lamp out of it.
Is that what she's doing?
Probably not, but that's what I interpret it as.
yeah.
It looks to me a little like she's holding a lamp.
This is kind of lamp-like. And
Yeah.
number 1, Dragoon's Wyvern.
Oh, he's so cute.
Little 2/1 flyer coming in at number 1.
Wow, women and their lamps, am I right?
Yeah. Gosh, we're so toxic. Women be lamp shopping all the time.
Women just love lamps.
YouTube's gonna like flag this video for like some kind of, like they're like,
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
what I don't know what they're talking about, but it seems
Not
problematic.
Okay. It seems problematic. Hey, maybe the algorithm will finally like us again.
Oh, that would be so wonderful. Please bless us.
The thing is that I genuinely do love a lamp.
Well, yeah, who
But
doesn't?
you know what? I think that's
just
more
universal.
of a gay thing.
Yeah. Speaking of a gay thing, we haven't had our gay question of the week.
That's right.
For Pride
Maria.
Month.
Wow. Leaving it to the middle of the episode.
I know.
Most toxic podcast in Magic.
Yeah, you never know where it's going to come. We're going to come at you with the gay question of the week. This week's gay question, in celebration of Pride. Check out my nails, by the way, fam.
So good.
Like, are you
Really,
kidding me?
really good.
Shink. Is if you were to design a Pride float for your own personal Pride parade, what would your float look like, and what would be on it? So,
Wow.
this is a question for the Tabe. So you can respond in Discord. We had lots of great answers in our Discord to our question last week.
So many answers about characters from the Mummy, which is
Yeah.
iconic, of course.
Speaking of characters from the Mummy, my float is going to be a bi celebration float, and because of that, does need to include actors portraying.
Honestly, I was going to be like, I would love if your float was just a float of the movie, a float that's a tribute to the film,
my God,
The Mummy.
That is such a good idea. People would lose their minds.
People would love that float.
That is a great float.
All right.
Okay.
Next
Done.
year for a Pride Parade, we are going to submit this
Done.
float idea, and it's literally just a float that celebrates the Mummy.
I was going to be like, oh, yes, and it has like bicons on it or whatever,
Yes.
including everybody that the bi community claims who is like not officially part
absolutely.
of it, like John F. Kennedy.
I did not know that the bi community claimed John F. Kennedy. What?
Oh, yeah, big time. We'll take you. Any kind of inkling, you're in.
Wow. That one's news to me.
I was going to put Gillian Anderson on this float for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, absolutely.
I think she's pretty prime.
Yeah.
Bicon status.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, the Mummy's just cleaner. We're just doing the Mummy.
Yeah, it's just I love it. People are immediately everyone
That's
knows.
so funny.
Everyone's gonna know.
Oh my God. I like legit think this should happen in a
That's what I'm
Pride
saying.
parade.
Like, let's make one.
That would be so fun.
We could just.
Do they just let you?
I'll find out how you submit a float.
A float.
Maybe like if we have to be a part of an organization or a business.
We
Good
could
Luck
just,
High Five.
we are a business.
The Good Luck High Five Pride float.
Yeah, we could
is
just
Good Luck High Five celebrates the Mummy.
Listeners, will you help
This
us
time
make
next
this
year, we're
float?
going to be talking to you all about helping us make this real.
Can we make this?
It would be incredible.
Do you have to pay to put a float in a parade? I know you have to pay to make it.
Yes.
Anyway,
We'll find out.
Okay.
Mine is okay. My answer is actually going to be like is actually a very serious answer, which is just that one of my very favorite pieces of queer history is that the history of ACT UP, which is it's so. Part of what I love about it is that like ACT UP is like not really an organization necessarily. It is like it is like the best definition of community in terms of it is people who came together starting during the AIDS crisis to stage a lot of protests. They staged protests. This was back when like the government was not acknowledging the AIDS crisis at all.
or saying the word,
or even saying the word.
Yeah.
Like almost all of like the public action taken during that time was the result of ACT UP. And what's really incredible about that organization is that it's a flat organization, right? Like there's no one in charge. It is very like anarchist. I love ACT UP. I am fascinated by the history of ACT UP and how like specifically the organization of ACT UP and that flatness of it like helped them become like such a powerful voice and helped them show up in so many different ways and in so many different places. And so I think mine would just be like one where people can step on. It's like it's like a floating like
history
library where you can walk on, or like a little museum and you can walk on the floor
and
like
then hop on, hop off.
Yes, and then like walk all around it and read all about it and then hop off again.
Oh, that is another
so that people can know more about ACT UP.
idea. Yeah, and if you're ever at a Broadway show, you'll see them afterwards, like often collecting for ACT UP out in the lobby, or they'll mention it.
Because it's still around.
Because it's still around, and
it's really incredible.
Doing its thing. And every time I see them, I always cry because I just get so emotional about the fact that they are still fighting the fight and out there and like trying to advocate for this. And very we can all be like so immensely thankful that it ever happened.
Also, I think like it is just one of like the absolute we don't really talk about it much anymore about how it is one of the absolute like miracles of our lifetime.
Yes.
That AIDS is no longer the epidemic that it was.
Yes. And hopefully
like that's literally because of ACT UP.
Stay that way.
Yes.
Despite
RFK,
all of this
hands off of
stupid
everything.
Funding cuts.
But like literally when we talk about the fact that like AIDS, because there's now PrEP and there's PEP, like it is not the thing that it was, and that's literally because of ACT UP.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible. So
these are two really good and very different floats.
Very different floats. Okay, here's the thing. Mine will go in front so everyone gets sobered up, but then they see the mummy and they're like, back in the party.
Here we go.
Like I'll kill the vibe and then we resuscitate the vibe. And resuscitating the vibe is very accurate for the mummy.
Yeah, it is, truly.
Honestly, the film The Mummy is about resuscitating the vibe, am I right?
So true. Patrons, please go into our Discord and describe your perfect Pride Float idea. And don't let us forget this before next year, because we need to make it happen.
Yes.
Man, it could even be sponsored. What if it was The Mummy sponsored by Magic the Gathering? I mean, we'd have to get the rights.
But yeah.
We need the mummy set, like mummy secret lair.
Mummy secret lair would be absolutely. I mean, they've done so many Chucky, they've done Princess Bride.
Yes, they did.
I'm just saying their Pride one next year.
All right, we have some emails to send.
Yeah, we're just gonna excuse me, let me click on my computer real quick. Tip tap tip 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 tip.
Moving on to standard, friends. The other part of the Pro Tour, some would say the larger part because it contains more rounds. But I would say it's not the more important part, because truly you do need to do extremely well in draft or you ain't going to end up in that top 8.
Yeah, you do.
But yes, we have a giant standard now, which includes about 20 million sets.
It's so many sets.
I'm going to look at
sometimes you'll be like, is that set still in it? And the answer is like probably yes.
Probably. Let's see if I can get a number here. How many sets are currently in standard? 11?
11?
That's just what I'm going to pull out of my butt, something like that. It's huge.
Can we say that on
we've already said butt before, so I feel like
but I feel like it's more
to pull it out is worse. That's a good point. It's too late now.
Great. Okay.
We don't edit the show. Let's talk about standard. So a team could come to this event, a person could come to this event and completely break it wide open with a new deck that nobody's seen before. It certainly has happened even in recent history. So that is on the table. Final Fantasy has not been out for that long.
Yeah.
Somebody could have found something new and exciting. But there's also a bunch of powerful decks that have been kind of doing well at the regional championship circuit and otherwise leading up to this event.
Yeah.
With the most popular being Izzet Prowess.
Yes. So this is built around, I mean, look, a card that I love, Stock Up.
Well, yeah.
Stock Up is an incredible card.
Get stocked.
2 and a blue for a sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Let me tell you, when I have played some standard on Arena and I've been playing against this Izzet deck, sometimes I'll just be like, look, I just need them to, I've like gotten through all their threats. We've done it. And I'm like, look, fam, we just need you to whiff for like, I just need like one break. I need a break for one turn.
And
they
you're
draw
good to go.
stock up, and it's
Yeah,
literally
never
the
mind.
worst draw for me that they could possibly have.
Interesting.
Because it is incredible.
Yeah.
It is so good.
That's a lot of cards.
It is so much card. You're looking at five and picking two. Back in my day,
Yeah. You look at one.
that costs 9 mana. It's called Dig Through Time.
We had
7
Brainstorm.
mana? I don't remember how much Dig Through Time actually
Yeah, I
costs.
think so. Or 8? Is it 8? Anyway, the deal with Is It Prowess is that
was 8.
we're making little tiny otters which have prowess using the card
Yes.
Storm Chaser's talent.
Or little monks that have
monks
prowess.
from Corey's Steelcutter. And we're attacking for lots of points of damage, being buffed by prowess with these
so
spells.
much.
Like Monstrous
You can
Rage,
attack with
Stock Up.
so much damage.
Sideways,
Yep.
you win.
You just turn them sideways.
So Is It Prowess has the lion's share of the decks that people have been playing at these tournaments and has done the best with the match win rate of 52.1%.
My vibe, still going to be very popular.
Yeah, I think so.
That's my read.
Yeah. And if you're not looking to play blue cards, you can do the same thing except with just red cards. Mono red aggro.
You prefer just red?
Just
you
red?
You can have just red.
do the same thing
Yeah.
basically. You're playing Mice, which this deck has been around for a long time.
Yep.
Manifold Mouse, Emberheart Challenger, Heartfire Hero. You're also still doing prowess things with cards like Monastery, Swift Spear, etc. And then just playing lots
Monstrous
of spells.
Rage.
Monstrous Rage is still in there. Burst Lightning, whatever. Boom, 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 boom. You're dead.
Yeah.
So both very fast, very aggressive decks.
We also have Azorius Omniscience. I love this deck. This deck is great. This deck is my friend. And it also makes use of stock up, of course. But
Well,
this is
yeah.
the deck where you use a lot of things like Roiling Dragonstorm, which lets you draw and then discard. There's a lot of draw and discard effects so that you can put Omniscience into your graveyard. And then Omniscience is a 10 mana enchantment, 7 blue. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs. And you put it into play
Sick.
with Abuelo's Awakening. This is 3 and a white, X, 3 and a white for a sorcery. Return target artifact or non-aura enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with X additional +1/+1 counters on it. It's a 1/1 spirit creature with flying in addition to its other types. So you can cast it as soon as turn 4.
Wow.
And then you're just drawing lots of cards with your Roiling Dragonstorms, and specifically with your Meringue River Regents.
So
this
this
is
is
like your big guy.
the big 6/7 dragon from Tarkir Dragonstorm that has the Omen on the other side that's draw 3 cards and discard a card.
Which also is great early.
Yeah.
So that is another way that you can discard your Omniscience. And then, you're just playing River Regents.
That's
you're
cool.
meringuing them.
That deck seems very powerful and good.
It is a great deck. And I think that we'll also see that at this
Yeah,
event.
I
Because
imagine
it has
so.
also managed to take down some regional championships. It does very well. It does very well for itself. Temporary lockdown.
I mean,
Otters get locked.
get out of here, otters. Go straight to jail.
Go straight to jail.
Can you imagine an otter in jail? How sad.
Isn't that just what we're doing with them at the zoo? That is the worst thing. Good luck, high five. The most toxic podcast in Magic.
Welcome to the most toxic podcast in Magic. Otters, they're in the zoo.
Have you
otter
considered
jail.
that the zoo is just otter jail?
They like to float on their back and hold hands. It's
That's true.
cute.
That's true. It is cute.
They
and
don't
they are
normally
allowed
let you
to do
hold
cute
hands in
things in jail.
Midrange is number 4 on the list of the most played decks in Standard.
This is not worth it.
I have a tendency to agree with you.
Don't do this. Don't do it. It has, look, I want it to be because it has
I wish it could be good.
Because it have cute card draw cat, Enduring Curiosity. But you know what? It's not good.
This is the deck that plays Shieldred still is being played in this deck.
That's a card that's like, wow.
Siren, that's still in Standard. Preacher of the
Cool.
Schism, Flood Pit's Drowner, Tap Things Down, Enduring Curiosity, like you said, Fairy Mastermind.
That's the one I think Caverns of Ixalan is still in Standard.
Jeez Louise.
That's absurd.
Yeah, I agree. This deck, I liked playing this deck quite honestly, but the thing is, it's just not
It's
fast
just
enough
not good
or
enough
slow
these
enough.
days. It's neither fast nor slow enough. I agree with
Too
that.
middle of the road, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Jeskai Control. This I really like.
What about this?
Yeah, this is slow enough.
Yeah, seriously.
You're playing stock up. I mean, what else are you doing?
This is Megan's analysis of Standard is stock up in the list.
Is stock up in your list? Yes. Great.
great.
No, bad.
This deck plays the card Jeskai Revelation. 4 blue, red, white, instant. Return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
It deals 4 damage to any target. Create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. Draw 2 cards. You gain 4 life.
Heck yeah.
Sick.
Great.
So you're controlling the game and then casting something like that and hoping to win with your little monk somehow or whatever.
You also have 4 Shiko, Paragon of the Way.
Oh, sure.
Your dragon friend to get on out there. You also have Meringue River Regents and Bezas.
Okay, so classic control list
Yeah.
that has some nice high-end payoff.
There's also Azorius Control. Why?
Who cares?
I guess just do Jeskai.
Plays 4 stock-ups. Do you want to say that?
It does play 4 stock-ups. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm more in favor of it now. Like, look, that Dimir list doesn't play stock-up. You're wrong.
That's the problem. I see.
You're wrong.
Another flavor of control. Okay, just no red in that version.
Jeskai Oculus. This deck is bad now.
Sad.
The end.
That's,
People are still playing
it,
but I don't think that it's very good anymore.
A 5/5 on turn whatever is not good enough anymore. Flying?
Nope.
What a world we live in.
Sure not.
Okay.
Orzov Pixie. Same.
Yeah, Orzov Pixie was like my favorite deck that has been in Standard for a long time when it burst onto the scene. Which this little value engine where you're bouncing stuff back to your hand to punish the opponent, which is very fun and kind of unusual for a Magic deck. And I really loved the strange access it attacked the game at, but it's kind of fallen out of favor.
I'm just kind of like bored with it. We're like, okay, I don't know. I guess the Orzov version is better. Right, for a long time it was like Dimir or Esper, and now it's just straight Orzov, which I think people have kind of agreed is like the better version of the deck.
It plays Nurturing Pixie, which is the one that lets you bounce stuff back to your hand.
Yeah.
So you're bouncing back a Hopeless Nightmare, making your opponent discard cards and lose life and that kind of stuff.
All right, you know what? I take back my roast of Orzov Pixie. It's fine.
I like this deck. I just don't think that it can hang.
I agree that I think it is not as good.
So I suppose we'll see coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Your favorite deck from the past.
Domain Overlords, they're still hanging around.
They're still around.
Let me tell you, don't know what's going on here.
I mean,
like,
it seems like it's not going to be.
It should be good, but it should also be bad. I don't know. I don't know what this deck is doing right now.
It's got to draw its sweepers or it's just going to lose.
That is true. That is very true.
So I'm not sure.
But it is still doing powerful things, like it hangs in. If they get down a Zur and they have any Overlords, you're cooked,
Yes.
Buddy, you're cooked.
But will you?
Yeah. Orzov Demons. I do like this one, but
I love this one too. Orzov Demons number 10, 3.1% of the metagame of recent tournaments.
Yeah.
Running some demons, like Archfiend of the Dross, 6/6 flyer for 4 mana. And just like good removal, go for the throat, cut down, get lost, etc. And just winning with cards like that. Shieldred, Carsey Revenant. This is probably my favorite deck of the tournament because it's focused on creatures and just creatures and removal. But the sad part is that it just doesn't. I don't know if anything can hang with these prowess decks, either blue or red.
I know. Well, that's kind of the big question.
That's the question.
Temporary lockdown is still in the format, which is definitely right. Like, are you playing prowess or are you playing temporary lockdown?
Yeah.
Is kind of like the dichotomy of this. And so I do wonder if after this, I know that I don't know what our current ban policy is. Changes so often.
I mean, that is true.
But my question is like, after this, are we going to maybe see something come out of the Izzet deck? Or like, are we going to see Corey Steelcutter?
Corey Steelcutter would be the card I would think.
I think because right, like, yes, you can counter the deck, specifically temporary lockdown, but it kind of is creating this environment, it feels like. And I'm sure that they're just waiting to see how things shake out. Like,
probably.
Can Final Fantasy shake it up enough? Or is it too powerful? And if it's too powerful, then I think maybe we'll see it go away because it is creating it. Either you're playing it or you have to specifically be playing temporary lockdown.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. We'll see at the tournament this weekend. Will red cards, namely Corey Steelcutter, dominate? Or will we finally have some tools to like put these prowess decks into their place?
Yeah. Frank, in this article, this is the Metagame Mentor article from last week, where Frank is kind of speculating about what we might see.
That's Dr. Frank Karsten.
Yeah. He calls out, this one I just really like, Tifa Lockhart. This is the 1 and a green, 1/2 legendary creature, human monk with trample. Landfall, whenever a land you control enters, double Tifa Lockhart's power until end of turn. And he specifically calls out that if you play her on turn 2, on turn 3 you play Titanic Growth, and then you Fabled Passage, and crack your Fabled Passage, you get a turn 3 kill.
Great.
Which is pretty great.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Tifa, maybe we'll see you this weekend.
That would be right. Like, because Titanic Growth makes her a 5/5. Fabled Passage 10/10. Crack the Fabled Passage. Get a land 20/20.
Wow, incredible.
That's pretty cool.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
that's why we love the Pro Tour. We're not sure what's going to happen this weekend. We have a new set on our hands, and truly, anything could come out on top. Any player could come out on top. Matt Nass won the last Pro Tour. Everybody was very excited for him.
Yeah.
Being a longtime grinder, finally getting a big win for himself. Will he still have dominance? Will Simon Nielsen come back and be like, you know what? Want to win another one?
Will Javier Dominguez be like, wow, it's been one tournament since I was in the top 8. Time to take care of that.
Hey, I'd like to just assert myself as reigning world champion.
I would like to remind you all that I'm Javier Dominguez and I can make the top 8 anytime I want to.
I've got the crown, my friends. We'll find out this weekend. Action starts Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, Saturday, Sunday. Tune in if you're not in Vegas. If you are in Vegas, come up and say hi to us on the second floor where the Pro Tour is happening. And can't wait to see who takes the whole thing down. Let's say thank you to Card Kingdom for being one of our incredible sponsors on this show. You can check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF Magic and get whatever you need for your magical existence.
Yeah. You know what? Card Kingdom, they're just great.
They're legit.
Like, just go get your card. Sell your card, get your card.
Card Kingdom.
Card Kingdom, the best place to card.
The blessed place.
The blessed
as well.
place.
Hashtag blessed. We're hashtag blessed for Card Kingdom being in our lives.
Wow, we really are hashtag blessed.
Gotta say.
Very honestly, gotta tell you, hashtag blessed to have Card Kingdom in our lives. You too can be hashtag blessed by hashtag blessed Card Kingdom.
You can sell whatever you want there. 4-store credit. Turn it into cards that you actually want. If you want to order something, they'll send it to your door in one order, so you don't have to wait for 10 packages to show up. It's just one and done with Card Kingdom.
The blessed place to card.
The blessed
The blessed placed?
The blessed place to card. Thanks for listening, everybody, to this episode of Good Luck High Five. We've got to catch a plane to go to Vegas.
We do. We got to head on out of here.
Yeah, we got to hit the tapes, play some blackjack.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, I'm like, I hope I get a game in this time.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen every time.
You're going to get one of your favorite and most important things in.
What's that?
A steak.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
gonna eat
I'm
a steak.
definitely going to get a steak
Maria
in
has
Vegas.
an appointment to eat a steak.
I have a steak appointment. That's like when somebody goes to the doctor. I'm like, that's how I feel about going to get a steak. It's like, I got to get
You're
it
like,
in
wow, I need to do
every
this.
3 to 4 months.
I
make
need
sure
this.
I'm up on this.
For my health.
For my health, I need to eat this steak.
Yeah.
For your health, don't eat steak.
Yeah, I was going to say, we are, as always, not a medical podcast.
We hope to see you there, friends. If we can't see you there, hopefully we see you in our Discord. You can be a part of that by becoming a patron at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you once again to Krim.
Yes.
Wink, 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 for becoming a new patron. Thank you to Card Kingdom and to Dragon Shield and to everyone who comes up and says hi to us this weekend. We've got stickers for you if you do so. So just saying, they're pretty cool.
Come on out. Say hi.